Hey everyone, Diamond here, bringing you back another Gears of War theory video. Now, today we will be discussing the fate of the DBs in Gears 6. Now, when we think of DBs, most people think of the normal Shepherds, but DBs go from Shepherds, Deadeyes, DR1s, Megamax, to the non-human like DBs, to Trackers, Guardians, Watchers, and now even Jack. And yes, since Baird is making them, they are considered DBs. Now, this question comes from, well, knowing what the flock can actually do to the DBs, and that is corrupt them. The question is, will Baird actually fix them to where the flock will no longer be a problem, or will he add something to help out the DBs in case it does happen and they can either fix themselves or solve the problem on the battlefield? It is important to know that the DBs have gone through a lot from Gears 4 to Gears 5. If you haven't read any of the novels, when they first deployed the DBs to fight the Swarm, well, Dell actually had to be recorded in order for the DBs to AI to be able to at least combat the Swarm more efficiently. They weren't perfect, but they were more efficient at combating the Swarm. This was, of course, a little bit before the flock. And now that we have the flock and we know that they are able to corrupt the DBs, what will Baird actually do about it? Will he put some kind of fail-safe system like the DR1s that self-destruct if the flock actually managed to corrupt them? Or will he add some kind of special techniques or armor to the DBs in order for them to evade being corrupted by the flock? Some examples will be some better closed off armor to where the flock can't get inside of them and corrupt them. They might be only able to shut them down like we see the first time. They all just start moving all around the DBs and they completely shut down. Or and the armor that won't be able to get inside and the DBs will totally be fine and can be reactivated later. Or will he add some kind of failsafe system that, I don't know, maybe electrocutes them, the flock electrocutes the flock as they are trying to corrupt the DBs. Now, it is important to know that having the DBs around actually helped the humans quite a lot. If you think from just securing their future homes with just DBs and not confronting the raiders, to actually being able to stand a chance against the Swarm in the first place. But we do see in the end of Gears 5 that DBs aren't really being used. The task force is mostly made out of COG soldiers. That we do only see Guardians at the end when we arrive at the wall as kind of a last resort. They send out Guardians. We don't know if their shield provides them some protection from the flock, or they were just using them as a last resort so the Swarm wouldn't get in after the Vulture drops those bombs. Either way, with the absence of the DBs, there will be lots of human lives lost. Instead of only losing, I don't know, maybe a sergeant or whoever was in command of a whole troop of DBs, we're gonna be losing lots and lots of humans instead of killing the Swarm. And especially now that the Swarm can actually kidnap humans, well, let's say they have a whole battlefield and they have a lot of snatchers, all those gears will be more enemies. And we do have the humans kind of having the choice between either having a bunch of rejected robots to deal with or having most of their human allies being taken and then coming back as the actual swarm. Although Baird is a very smart guy, maybe he can actually develop a better type of DB that isn't susceptible to the swarm. Or maybe he does some more research on how the flock takes over the DBs or shuts them down in the first place and keeps that from happening. And now with the new Jack, remember Jack's AI is far superior. The question is, will Jack's AI be implemented into the DBs? Because remember, even though the DBs are, automotive and automatic, and they don't really think for themselves, they just follow orders and do them. Which is why we have to constantly fight them when we see fallen vultures. We usually see them just following their normal program, which is protect cog property. But now that the new Jack AI has been developed, and we do see Jack taking choices pretty much for himself. The question will be, will the DBs be able to do this soon enough? They will make their own choices and ultimately be smarter all in all. And instead of just standing there when the flock circles around them, they'll be able to jump out of the way and fight the flock more efficiently, take cover. I mean, we see Jack, he doesn't just stand there. He sees the flock and turns invisible and goes away. I mean, all this technology could be implemented into the DBs. There was another choice, but I did rule it out, and it was, why didn't COG soldiers take over a DV? And I know what you're thinking, like, what? Well, my question is this. Think about it. Would you rather have a AI that thinks for himself, kind of like a turret, or would you rather pay somebody to control that robot itself? And obviously with low people and the COG not really wanting to sacrifice lives, you would think they'd at least put somebody in charge as a DB, just like a Megamech. I mean, you can control a Megamech, and maybe you could be in some far off place and control a DV instead of sending an actual soldier, and have them, if they encounter a flock, jump out of the way. I mean, don't you think that would be way better than sending an actual soldier and losing him? Just send a DB controlled by a soldier in its place, and if they lose the DB, well, they still have the soldier and he's still there. And if duty does end up calling, he can participate in the fight. The other thing has to do with the robotics itself. If the flock can shut down DBs and control other types of technologies, like we do see when we enter the lab, the flock get all over old Niles AI and shut him down. Will they be able to do that to all COG technology? Will they be able to get into central computers, shut down everything, erase, I don't know, their data, take over the Hammer of Dawn? What are the flock able to do, especially if they are hive mind to the swarm? What would they be able to do if they take over COG technology? If you have read the novels, you would know that one of the rejects actually goes in a Megamech and starts controlling the Megamech. It's in one of the novels. Cole's actually fights it. Cole goes up a mountain, I think scout ahead, and he never comes back down. And when the rest of the squad gets up there, they see Cole actually fighting another Megamech that's being controlled by a reject. That does go to show you that if the flock is connected to the swarm now know how to control lots of the COG technology if they can control a Megamech. Or maybe they took the DB's information that maybe the DB was controlling the Megamech and it took over that and now it knows. I mean, what can the Swarm do with their hive mind? And what will they be able to do if sentience is implanted into the DVs? I mean, if Jack was able to hack into Baird's stuff, what will the Swarm be able to do if the sentience is implanted into the DVs? Maybe it's better just to keep them the way they are. Or will they eventually need their help and just deploy them and risk having them taking out and being made into Swarm soldiers as rejects? Or will Baird actually find a way to keep this from happening and, all in all, keep the Swarm from taking more human lives and just keep deploying DVs as a backup? These are just my thoughts, of course. We don't know what the Coalition has in store for the next games, but leave your thoughts in the comments below. And thank you for watching. Have a good day.